So, Stephanie Hartsfield, why did you decide to move to Vermont?
We were ready to leave California because it didn't feel like home. Dad and I are both from Colorado and we love the mountains and all of those things. So we chose Vermont because we had been here on our first honeymoon and we loved it, and we loved the mountains and the outdoors and the access to higher education. And we just fell in love with Vermont and reminded us of Colorado.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm glad you decided to come here.
me too.
What can you tell me about your parents, like where they lived? My dad, Joseph Zamora, was born in Russia in 1900. One thing I know about his life in Russia was that he was born left-handed, which was forbidden, so he had to learn to write with his right hand. But interestingly, he only wrote with his right hand, but did everything else with his left hand. He came to America in 1912, landed on Ellis Island, and then he moved to Brooklyn, New York. My mom was born in Baltimore, Maryland in 1906. Bertha Sank, that's her name. They got married in 1932 and moved into the tenements in New York along with other Jewish families. How did you feel, or what did you think, when you heard my middle name was Zamora? Oh, I was so happy. I was so happy and honored. I know it was your mom's idea, and I'm happy that the Zamora name will be continued, because Norma didn't have any kids, so it would have just ended there.
From that moment on, myself and all others were branded by being forced to wear white armband with the blue Star of David, so we will be recognized as Jews. As time went on, we were assigned to different forms of heavy labor. We were deprived of education. We were mistreated, beaten. Our food was rationed. Young women's heads were shaved, and they were forced to perform heavy labor. Others were raped by members of the SS troops. Many of my comrades were killed for no reason at all, except that they were Jews. This was the beginning of the final solution of the Jews in Europe with the Nazi call. At this time, we were sent to different concentration camps. We did all kind of work. We were used as a slave labor for the German defense. In 1943, I was sent to Auschwitz in Birkenau. On January 18, 1945, Soviet army was advancing. We abandoned our camps on foot and marched 65 miles through heavy snow and cold. Many of us couldn't survive. People were dropping like flies. Finally, after 2 days of marching, we reached our destination, a small town in Germany called Gleiwitz. When we arrived, all 150 of us were loaded onto the open boxcars to be transported to Sachsenhausen, which should take only 5 hours to travel by train. We traveled for 10 days to Czechoslovakia, Austria, Germany, without any food, without any water. We ate snow. People in Czechoslovakia would throw bread from the bridges when the train was passing by. Whoever was lucky cut some bread. We became cannibals. We ate dead bodies. Finally, we reached our destination. By then, more than half of our comrades had died from starvation. After 9 camps and almost 6 years behind barbed electric wires and constant mistreatment, we arrived at the final destination. 98 of us from 400 men in the 1 month remain alive.
I think the thing that I talked about with my grandma, but I didn't really explain it much, is the Zamora name. I really like having that as so my grandma's maiden name is Zamora, and my grandma and her sister both married and got different last names, and so her brother Norman Zamora was the only one left with the Zamora name, and he didn't have any kids, so the Zamora name was just kind of gonna die off. But then my mom gave me Zamora as a middle name, and so I like feel cool, like honored to have that as to carry on the name, I guess, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I don't feel like I've been affected a whole lot, but it's interesting to learn about history. And also, this here is a Z from the Norman Zamora's, what he had it. I don't know. It stands for Zamora, but it's from like his house in California, which is cool. I have it.